again, boys and girls. We are back to talk about fractions, and you remember that the bottom number on a fraction is the denominator, and that's the name of the family and how many equal parts make a whole, and the top number is the numerator, and that's the number of pieces that we're talking about. At school, we have our fraction materials. And today we're going to be talking about adding fractions. So, I'm going to write us a problem. Two fifths plus 1/5. Okay. So, I'm going to find my fifths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to get out 2 fifths, 1, 2, and then I'm going to get out 1 fifth. 2 fifths plus 1 fifth makes 3 fifths. Okay. You can write yourself fraction addition problems. You may have paper that I sent home. Your parents may print you one out, but you can also write your own. At this stage, there are other lessons for adding fractions with different denominators, but right now, if you haven't had that lesson, you're going to just want to make sure that the denominator is the same. So remember, the denominator is the bottom number, the name of the family. So if I pick sixths, then my denominator for both numbers needs to be 6, okay? And then on the top, you can pick whichever number you want. So maybe I will do 4 and 1, okay? 4 sixths plus 1 sixth. And then we can do that. We'll put our fifths away. And I have some sixths over here from my other materials. If you got the ones to cut out, this is more what they're going to look like. So I know that I'm going to start with 4 sixths. Okay. And then I'm going to add 1 sixth. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to add 1. 4 sixths plus 1 sixth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equals 5 sixths. So there's that. Now you might come across something when you do this. You're going to remember that you're going to keep the denominator the same. I'm going to have 5 sixths plus 3 sixths now. 5 sixths plus 3 sixths. So here I have my 5 sixths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now I'm going to add 3 sixths. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 sixths. But 8 sixths is also something else. If we look here, we know that 6 sixths is the same as a whole. So we have 1 whole and 2 sixths. That's called a mixed number, and we're going to write the 1 and then 2 sixths. So 5 sixths plus 3 sixths equals 8 sixths, which equals 1 and 2 sixths. Okay? So 8 sixths and 1 and 2 sixths are equivalent, and you would write it in simplest form as a mixed number. Okay, so that is how to add fractions. Some of you might be able to just do that in your head, imagining the pieces. Some of you are going to need the materials. So if you need to pick up the ones that you can cut out, that'll end up being like this, you can do that. But you really don't need that because you could also make your own. So I took a cup and I flipped it upside down on a piece of paper, and then I cut that out, and here I have a circle just like my fractions. I used red because our fractions are red, but it doesn't matter. You can use any color. You could just use white paper, and then you could cut it out, and then you could do a bunch of these and divide them into equal pieces for your fractions and cut them out. It is a little bit tricky to get equal pieces with a circle, so that's something that you would have to get creative about finding a way. It might be easier to do halves and fourths out of this than, say, thirds and fifths. But you could try that, but it doesn't need to be a circle either, right? Fractions are wholes divided into equal pieces, so your whole can be anything. I made a rectangle here. You can't see it very well because it was in pencil, so I'm going to draw over it. So rectangles might be a little bit easier. I used a ruler, and my rectangle is 5 inches. Okay, so I can divide this into fifths by making a little mark. For each inch, right? If it's going to be divided into equal pieces and it's 5 inches, then at each inch I am putting a mark. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then I'm going to do a straight line along each of these. So in this case, my rectangle, the whole thing, is my whole that we're talking about, okay? And now it's divided into fifths, into 5 equal pieces, and I could cut these out and then do my adding that way. Okay? So it really doesn't matter what shape you use or what materials. Fractions are used in a lot of things, right? They're used in baking. They're used if you maybe have a pizza and you want to divide it up among your friends. That's kind of like our round ones. Or maybe this is a chocolate bar and you have 5 friends, and so you're going to divide your chocolate bar into 5 equal pieces. So the whole can be anything, and then becomes fractions when it's divided into equal pieces. So I'm cutting out my fifths, and then you could do your adding fractions just like we did. Now you have 5 fifths, and you could write yourself a problem like we did at the beginning. Say 2 fifths plus 2 fifths plus 1 fifth equals 3 fifths. Okay? So get creative. You can do this a lot of different ways, and good luck, have fun.